Good morning. Welcome. Glad you came. I have some stuff to talk about. I actually ran across some material, some of which I covered in my college classes, that I want to touch on over the next few videos. My name is Professor Ronin, as far as you're concerned, on YouTube. And this is a cat that seems to think my lap is where he needs to be right now. And for those of you who are returning, thank you. I appreciate you subscribing. I don't make any money off the deal. I'm a very small fish in a very big pond, but I appreciate your staying with me. Those of you who are first-time visitors, welcome. I am a former lecturer at a small university, and a Ronin is an unemployed samurai. So I no longer teach at the university, but I still have stuff to say. So that's why I kept my YouTube channel that I developed back when we couldn't do face-to-face classes, and I put together a YouTube channel to do my lectures on. There's a ton of lectures on my channel if you want to check it out. So what I want to talk about today is something that I talked about the last semester I taught, and that is emergency preparedness for college students. A lot of times when I talk about this stuff, I'll hear, well, I'm just a poor college student. Well, you're not a poor college student. If you're a college student, you are not poor in the way that people who are struggling to put food on the table 3 times a day for their family is. You've just chosen to devote your resources toward an investment, right? That's hopefully going to get you the career that you're looking for. Something that's going to allow you to put 3 squares a day on the table for your family at some point. But what do we do with those resources without sacrificing what you're already investing in your education, right? And I want to talk about those things. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things that I want to cover that I think will help you. And stay with me on this, and we'll see how it goes. So, college students, what do we do? First thing, the university and the town has been making it increasingly difficult for college students to bring their cars to school, mostly by making it more and more expensive for you to park there. Places that were free back in the Stone Age, when I would park my horse and buggy anywhere I wanted in Platteville, now cost big bucks. And if you park where you're not supposed to be, that costs huge bucks. So if you have a vehicle, that's your escape plan, right? Maybe your plan involves hunkering down where you're at. Maybe you've got an apartment or a well-stocked dorm room, or maybe you need to get home to where family and additional resources are kept. So you've got this vehicle, right? Make sure that it's maintained. Go out and start it occasionally. Make sure that it runs, drive it around a little bit, warm up the engine. And make sure that your gas tank is between 3/4 and full at all times. Once you fill your tank, if you're used to putting, $10 worth of gas in every week, once it's full, you're not spending any more money to maintain that level of fullness. You're just between 3/4 full and full, as opposed to empty and 1/4, which is where I kept my car a lot of the times when I was going to college. So, be thinking about that. And yes, my grandpa was always saying you need to keep more gas in your tank. But, when you're 19, you don't always think you have to listen to older people. So, unfortunately. Maintain an emergency kit in your car. So, quick thing on that. I have everyday carry. I have things that I carry on my person or close at hand that I can use to keep myself safe and deal with most common mishaps. All right, I'm not talking about electromagnetic pulse here. I'm talking about a headache or being locked in for a tornado drill or something like that. The purpose of your EDC kit is to get yourself either hunkered down or to your vehicle where you have more stuff. All right, and that more stuff should be kept out of sight so a potential thief doesn't see it, and it should fall under 4 categories. Go back and watch this video again, jot this down if you need to, but it falls under the category of communication, medical supplies, not just Band-Aids, but actually things that can handle, more serious issues, medications if you've got them, contact lens fluid, a spare pair of glasses, and then food and water, and then defense. And, you should be able to maintain all of those things to a certain degree that's going to help you get to where you need to be. Moving on to part two, keep a card on your person, an information card on your person. All soldiers that I know of carry dog tags, which, gives their blood type and I think whether or not they are on any medications or have any allergies. That's all stuff that an emergency responder would need to know if you can't tell them yourself. So have that. I have a card like that. It's on a lanyard. It's actually my identification card for Eagle's Wings. So my picture, my thumbprint information is on the front, and on the back is all my medical information, including who someone can call if they need to get a hold of somebody where I can't give this information myself. So my son and my wife are on that along with their phone numbers. So do that. It costs you next to nothing, right? And you can make this as fancy or as simple as you want it to have, but it may save your life. So have that card on you. Money is good. If the credit card machines go down, you can't use your student card, you can't use your credit card, you may need cash. I can tell you right now that Walmart will not be doing business if their credit card machines and electronic cash registers go down. But you may be able to use cash to get other stuff. So, and then take some of that cash. We're talking $5 a week, okay? A decent beer, not the Busch Light that a lot of college students drink, but actual good beer. It's going to cost around $5 for a pint. So take a pint of your weekly beer consumption, assuming you do that sort of thing, and put some food in a 5-gallon bucket. $5 worth of food: rice, beans, instant mashed potatoes, soup, multivitamins. Fill it out a little bit. Things that you normally eat anyway, but are non-perishable, put it in a bucket. If you live in a dorm room, stick the bucket in the back corner of your dorm room closet. And when that bucket is full, put a lid on it and start another bucket. You can put 2 weeks of food in a 5-gallon bucket if you're careful and you put the right stuff together. There's lists of that online that you can find. I won't waste your time on this video telling you about it. But be thinking about that. Moving on to number 4, have a destination. If your emergency plan is to get the hell out of Dodge because where you're at is no longer safe or livable, have a place to go. You know what you call somebody who bugs out without a destination? A refugee. Refugees are bad. You don't want to be a refugee. You'll probably wind up in an emergency shelter, and once you do that, a lot of your freedom in terms of what you can have, where you go, what you do, is going to be limited by people who are now taking care of you. When you give people the ability to fulfill your needs, they're going to have power over you. Never become a refugee. Never become a refugee. Have a place to go. And when you have that place, and people like me will say, well, my home is my Alamo. This is my refuge. I should have another place that I need to go, which I do. If my house becomes unlivable, it catches fire and burns down, God forbid. But for some reason I can't be here anymore. Where can I go? Have that backup plan, and wherever you bug out to, once you're to that place, that's your main base of operations. Have another place that you can go. So have that in mind. Share this plan with your parents. I just finished rereading or re-listening to an audiobook. It's a series, actually, a trilogy called 1 Second After by William Fortune. And I recommend that you read it, but a lot of this happens during an emergency that takes place in a small college town. And so college students factor in there, right? But check out that book. But they talk about, parents not knowing where their kids are, kids not knowing where their parents are. I know I just called you kids, college students. You're closer to my grandkids' age than you are my children's age. And I still refer to my children as my children, even though they now have kids of their own. So deal with that. But tell them, hey, in an emergency, this is what I'm going to do. All right? They're still going to worry about you, but at least they know that you're not stuck out in the middle of, without rule of law type environment with no plan and no ability to take care of yourself. Stay physically fit. When was the last time you went to your dentist? And if my dentist is watching this, he's going, "Hey, buddy, it's been a while." Yeah, you're right, doc. Sorry. But a toothache can become a serious issue, including a fatal issue. People used to die from bad teeth back 100 years ago. So get your teeth maintained. Get regular checkups. And if your doctor is a pill pusher, you know, you spend 15 minutes with a nurse and 5 minutes with a doctor who spends most of his time staring at a computer screen, get a new doctor. There are good doctors out there. Someone who's actually going to care about you and what you need to do within your means. Also remember that you have the ability to say no. I'm going to prescribe these super expensive medications that may or may not work for you. Nope, not going to do that, doc. I'm going to try something else. I'll keep you in the loop, but not doing that. You have that right. You can do that. All right. But make sure that when you make those decisions that they're informed decisions. And speaking of being informed, the next step is be aware of what's going on around you. We have the Rave Alert program at our university here in town. It's basically where they put out things like, you know, if there's an emergency, there's a lockdown, there's a power outage, things like that. Go over that. There is the Nixley program that will put things up on your phone like Amber Alerts. So know what's going on locally. Don't get wrapped up in social media and things that are happening 1,000 miles away. Why are you worried about things that are happening 100 or 1,000 miles away when you haven't taken all the steps to control what's happening within 100 yards of where you are? So be thinking about knowing what's going on. Beware of conspiracy theories. Interesting, because conspiracy theories used to make fun of Alex Jones, but I think his accuracy is probably better than CNN's right now. So, but beware of things. Yeah, man, it's going down. The reptile people are going to come up and you know, do whatever they do. Or, you know, the Hale-Bopp, the big comet that came through early in my police career. We could look at it through night vision. It was pretty cool. That was a hollowed out spaceship. You know, enjoy it for what it is, but don't plan your life around George Norrie and his late night radio show. But know what's going on. Also beware of confirmation bias. Don't just listen to people who tell you what you want to hear. Listen to other people. I dislike some of our 24-hour news services, but I spend a little time focusing on what they're talking about every day, in addition to other sources that I find useful to me. So, you know, you got CNN and MSNBC, the networks on one side. You got Newsmax, which I'm not crazy about these days, Breitbart, One America News Network. All of those are good sources for the other side of the story. And you shouldn't live on just one side or the other. If you're going to be alert, be aware, follow more than one source. And finally, practice operational security. Operation, or OPSEC is what we call. Your college buddies don't need to know that you got 2 weeks worth of food in your closet. They don't need to know that you have a concealed carry permit and that you carry or have a weapon in your vehicle. They don't need to know that. Nobody needs to know that until you need it, and then it's there for you. But one of the issues that a good friend of mine pointed out, you know, hey, doing these videos, you may be telling people a little too much, and they're just going to come to your house. No, you're not. That is not part of the plan. I will not take one spoonful of rice from my granddaughter's plate and give it to you when you could have prepared. And that's the purpose behind this video, right? I want you to, you know, I tell you this stuff because I care about you. I don't make any money off of this. I want you to be ready because, ladies and gentlemen, a storm is coming. Hard times are coming. This winter is going to be hard on a lot of people. If you don't know that, then you need to come out of the cave you've been living in and start paying attention to what's going on around you. But have that plan. Have a plan and draw some lines in the sand. When this happens, I will do this. When this happens, I will do this. And have that plan anywhere from, you know, carrying an extra dose or two of your prescription meds in your backpack when you're in classes and a bottle of water and a phone. Pretty much everybody does that stuff. Up to having a full-blown bug-out plan to get home when things go bad. So there's a lot more to talk about, but this is going to help for people, not only college students, but people who, don't have a lot of disposable income and think, oh my gosh, if I can't blow up my credit card, I can't be prepared. Yes, you can. You've heard the old Lao Tzu quote, journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. The most important step you can take is to begin. So stay safe, stay vigilant, stay sharp. Si vis pacum parabellum. We'll see you next time.